Hi guys, my name is Amy Warren. Today I'm going to be talking about virtual field trips and how they can be used in the classroom. So I want to start with breaking down the word so we can get a better understanding of what a virtual field trip actually is before we get into the advantages and how to use them and how to make them. So virtual, my favorite definition that I've found is the second one that I've listed, not physically existing as such, but made by software to appear to do so. So we know virtual from virtual reality, virtual field trips, virtual tools or tours. It's not actually having to be present live real time at the place, but by seeing it through video or multimedia or images, things like that. And then field trips are just a trip made by students or research workers to study something firsthand. Then we get down to a virtual field trip, which is a tour or field trip multimedia presentation providing a guided tour of a subject on the web. So all you need is internet access and you're good to go. So let's look at some benefits of a virtual field trip. You can leave the classroom without even opening the door. You can save money on admission fees, bus drivers, no signed field trip slips, save some time by not having to corral a bunch of students while at a museum or anything like that. It's entertaining for them. You can enhance their curriculum and real life experiences. Then they can take that information that you've presented, if you give them the link or the access to that web page, and they can use those images and that information to build a research report and projects around the information you just gave them. So if you wanted to go through a tour and then set up a project afterwards to ensure they were paying attention, you can ask them questions, let them do research projects on maybe their favorite thing that they saw on the tour, anything like that that would help enhance their learning and really drive home the lesson plan. There's thousands of tours and subjects to choose from right now. They're even grade level specific. Lots that I found during my research. One of the best resources I found was on Discovery Education. So the Discovery Channel has a page for education, and they have virtual tours for educators to use. It's really neat, and I did post a link in my references if you want to check that out. I love the option for grade level specific because that enhances the learning experience. You can make it just for kindergarten students, lots of colors, lots of paint, easy stuff for them to really understand and keep them entertained, maybe some songs in there. And then in the upper grade levels, where they really can take on more of that information and have it explained better. And then there's also options to create your own and personalize, which I love because I go on trips all the time throughout the summer. So to be able to bring that home to the classroom and put it in a presentation to share with my students would be perfect. So types of virtual tours you can take. When I first started this presentation, I hear virtual tours and I'm thinking museums. So great, we'll go visit the Louvre in Paris or something that these kids may not ever get the opportunity to go see. But once I started doing more research, I found out so many other uses of virtual tours. So we have like national historical monuments. So if you want to go see, Mount Rushmore, look around in a 360 view or anything like that. You can maybe live in the city and your kids don't get a chance to go visit some farms. You can go visit some farms. That's not the case here where I'm at. You can see the solar system. You can go and look at different types of transportation, so planes and automobiles and different boats. You can go look at factories and industries, natural disasters like volcanoes, tour a volcano. Not just look at it on a textbook, you get to see it come alive without having to be there, which would be scary. And then different types of geography, oceanography, explore the ocean, and even the human body. How neat is that? The only time I ever saw that was on Magic School Bus. And then here's some exciting different ones that I found. So like the Vatican, exploring the solar system, seeing virtual field trips from like the monuments I was telling you about, find out the history of the Eiffel Tower, how it was created, how many steps it has. The American National Museum, in New York, you can see the dinosaur. I'm sure lots of people recognize it from the movie, but do they know how much more is there? They have so many different observatory wings that you can look at, from dinosaurs to the solar system to even a crater that was some moon rock that was discovered in Arkansas. A lot of people don't know that. And then you can also do different journeys through the boats. You can meet the captain, you can see the crew, you can pick a voyage that you want to go to, and it lets the kids enhance their experience and leave the classroom without leaving the classroom. Another thing I want to talk about is creating your own virtual field trip. If you're not really technologically savvy, this might seem like it's a big undertaking, but it's really not that hard. The resources are out there. All you have to do is go and find them. It's as simple as typing in "create your own virtual field trip" into Google, and all these resources come up that will take you through step-by-step instructions. There's different things you can do. Either within Google Earth, which that's just an app that you can download on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer, anything like that, and you can see everything. You can just type in a location, which I bet the most thing people think is just to Google their house. They want to go look at their house. But you can type in the location of, the Louvre, and you can go and look and see what the top of the building looks like, because it's that glass pyramid. It's really neat that I don't think a lot of people know about. And you can go and see what that looks like outside in real time, see the people walking around. It's really neat. There is also, on top of using Google Earth, if you're not familiar with that, you can just do a PowerPoint like we're doing here. But in that PowerPoint, you can incorporate videos and pictures, so that gives you a little bit more time to put it together. Save that document out there, go and open it up, and then introduce that to your students. You can also use videos and pictures. So if you were going on a tour with, like a student from one class, but you didn't think that y'all were going to get to take that same tour the next year, you could go and take a video camera and just video the tour, some important parts of it. That way the next year, if you don't get to go on that field trip again, your students next year can experience through a virtual tour. It'll also make it more personalized for them, because they'll see their teacher, they'll see other classmates and things like that. Doing a virtual tour also helps slow it down for the students so that they can look at everything on their own time. So if there's something that everybody has a question about, you can pause it. They can, say you're looking at some paintings and you want to talk about a painting that they might have questions about. If they don't get to do that in the tour and the tour guide goes on and you're kind of rushed on to the next exhibit, they might not have these questions that they get answered. So by doing a virtual tour, we can stop, explain to the students what it is, and then go on. And you can do that throughout your entire tour. By taking pictures as well, you can upload those into that. You can do just a straight PowerPoint without any videos, but it's always nice to incorporate different uses of technology. Kind of livens it up for them and doesn't make it so mundane, so they see pictures and videos, so it helps them out there. The key to remember about a do-it-yourself virtual field trip, though, is that you want to make sure that you mind your P's and Q's with it. So don't release students' last names. If your students are going to be in it, make sure you get a signed permission slip, anything like that. Make sure you're using correct grammar, proper language. You don't want, any bad words or anything like that slipping into something. And then you also want to make sure that you keep it updated. So there's no point in having a multimedia tool out there, a virtual field trip, about something that has changed. So for instance, the solar system, Pluto is no longer considered a planet, so the older ones that might have Pluto in it might need to be replaced with a newer one. So you would have to keep that updated, and that's very important to remember, because you don't want to use outdated information. And then some references that I've listed. These ones right here are going to be great if you get a chance. Go view some of these websites. The Discovery Education one, like I mentioned earlier, was definitely one of my favorites because it gives you free tours that you could take your students to. It gives you options by grade level, then it gives you by subject. So you have some for literacy, engineering, science, math. One of the cool ones I wouldn't think about for math is that they do careers that count and a virtual field trip with the NBA. So they're looking at your field goal percentage, which equals your field goals made divided by your field goal average, which is really neat. I wouldn't think about that for math, but don't you think a lot of students would be interested to see a tour of the NBA? And that's put on by the Boys and Girls Club. So that's really neat. You can go and look at that. I also included the Utah Education Network Virtual Tours Manual. That's a PDF that you can just click on, and it walks you through how to create one. And it also gives you like printouts that you can provide to your students for feedback. So it's got questions like, did you find this entertaining? Did you know where you were at all times? Anything like that, because what's the use of an educational tool if it's not helping anybody? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll answer them. Thanks.